Okay, so we're picking right back up with the notes. We're going to look at example 7 too. We're going to look at the rules for drawing these, okay? So I'm going to try to go slow. You can always stop and rewind the videos as we go through these. Okay, so draw the Lewis structure for water. Well, first off, you have to have a working formula for water, H2O. The first rule is to count up your valence electrons. So what we need to do is list the elements and the number of elements that are in the formula. We go to the periodic table. Let me pull mine up real quick. And we find out how many valence electrons each of these atoms have. Now remember, this is based on where the electrons fall, or where the atoms fall on the periodic table. Group 1 elements, for main group elements, you should be able to look at the group number. So for example, hydrogen's in group 1, so it's going to have 1 electron. Oxygen's in group 6. Since there's 1 oxygen there, it's going to have 6 valence electrons. Then you're going to add up all the electrons. So because this is 2 and because this is 6, we have a total of 8 electrons to work with. Okay, now you're going to pick a center atom. Okay, remember that hydrogen is never a center atom. And so for H2O, I have 8 electrons to work with. I'm going to draw O in the middle. I'm going to put my H's on both sides. It really doesn't matter if you go top or bottom. I'm just going to kind of spread this out. I'm going to make an initial bond between my outside atom and my center atom. Okay, this counts for 2 electrons being shared each. So here I have 2 electrons. Here I have 2 electrons. So of my 8 available electrons that I have that can be shared amongst these atoms, I've already used 4. Okay, so 8 minus 4 equals 4. Since hydrogen is an outside atom that cannot accept any more around, these 4 additional will go as pairs on the center atom. Okay, and so this is what your structure will look like. I'm going to erase these little marks here so that you can see what the structure looks like. Okay, I do want to go back and double check that I've used 8 electrons. So here, and I'm going to kind of highlight this, I've used 2, 4, 6, 8. I can't use more than 8, I can't use less than 8. Okay, so let's try the next one. Draw the Lewis structure for phosphorus pentafluoride. Okay, so phosphorus pentafluoride, okay, PF5. Okay, so the first thing I need to do is count the electrons. So 1 phosphorus, 5 fluorine. Okay, phosphorus is in group 5, so this has 5 electrons. Since there are 5 fluorine atoms, each having 7 electrons, I'm going to calculate that. Okay, this is 35. So total, I have 40 electrons that I can work with and distribute. Okay. So between phosphorus and fluorine, because there's only 1 phosphorus, and I'm going to switch colors here, and 5 fluorines, my phosphorus is going to be in the middle. Now I'm going to distribute the 5 fluorines around, and I'm going to connect them with a single line. Now already you can tell that phosphorus in the middle has more than 8 electrons being shared right now, and that's okay. Remember earlier when we said that there are some exceptions to the octet rule? Okay, some will have expanded. You can see here in this structure, this one's going to have an expanded set, and we'll talk about why that happens later on. So of my 40, let's think about how many we've used so far. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So 40 minus 10, I have 30 left. These 30 needed to be distributed first to the outside atoms as pairs. So each fluorine will need an additional 6 to complete its octet. So we'll draw them as pairs. Okay, and so these are dots around. So each fluorine now has 1, 2, 3, 4 bonded, or 4 pairs of electrons, either bonded or non-bonded, and we can count our total. So let me go back and count those. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32, 34, 36, 38, 40. We've used all 40 of the original electrons. Okay. Our phosphorus is our center atom. We have our single bonds between our center and our outside, and we distribute the dots around. Okay. Now I'm going to pause the video here and do the next two on a separate video.